welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's program, should the Texans extend Nico Collins before the start of this season? I'll break down the pros and cons to extending Nico Collins. Should they do it? Shouldn't they? I'll let you know what I have to say at the end of today's episode. And also at the end of today's episode, we have another trivia question for you, and the answer is going to be at the very end of the show. So stick around. It's going to be a really good program today. But the question of the day is, who are the two leaders in franchise receptions behind Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins? It's Andre Johnson 1, DeAndre Hopkins is number 2. Who's 3 and 4 on that list? I expect a lot of y'all to get 3. I'm really interested to see if anybody gets number 4. I'll be looking down in the comments section. No cheating. Do not look it up. Yes, I see you going to open up another tab. Do not open up another tab. Give me your answer right now. Who are number 3 and 4 for Texans all-time receptions in franchise history? Now, getting into today's program first. Let's go the good. I always like good news before bad news. So good. Why should the Texans extend Nico Collins? Well, first off, unless you're living under a rock, you know Nico Collins had a career season this past year for the Houston Texans. 80 receptions, almost 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns, a long reception of 75 yards. Nico Collins was the number 1 target for C.J. Stroud in this prolific passing attack this past year. 6'4", 215 pounds. He used every bit of that size this season to get those long balls, to really, give a wide catch radius to C.J. Stroud and really help him his rookie season. I mean, he had a breakout this past season, and that is putting it lightly for Nico Collins. Next up, on why the Texans should extend Nico Collins, the wide receiver market, it's only going up. And there's a lot of guys who are looking to get paid, a la CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins. I mean, these guys are up next, and then Nico could be in that next tier, that next category of guys who are looking to get paid. This offseason alone, we've seen guys, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Davante Smith all get paid. And as I'm looking at the top 10 paid wide receivers, if I'm the Texans and I'm really trying to get a deal done, I'm kind of looking in that 6 through 9 range. Anywhere from Davante Smith to Michael Pittman Jr., I think would be a fair evaluation for Nico Collins. Anywhere from 25 mil to 23 mil, I think is the sweet spot. If you're the Texans looking to extend Nico Collins for a couple seasons, that's the mark I would look to do. But I want to hear from you folks at home when it's all about the money, 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 money. Money. How much would you pay Nico Collins per year? Would you be like me, 23 to 25? Do you think he deserves more? Do you think he deserves less? Let me know down in the comment section. I showed you the top 10 paid wide receivers in the NFL. Where do you think he would stack up? Let me know how much you would pay Nico Collins per season down in the comment section. Lastly, on why to extend Nico Collins, I think it's a great culture fit with the Houston Texans and DeMeco Ryans and what we want in this organization. I mean, we see across the NFL landscape, a lot of wide receivers are known as divas, as guys who are me guys, as guys who can't really, work as a team. They're more focused on the name on the back of the jersey instead of the name on the front of the jersey. Nico Collins strikes me as somebody who is very genuine, and I've met him a couple times. One time at the Super Bowl this past season on Radio Row, and he was one of the nicest guys I met that weekend. This is what he had to say also on the Texans offense this year. Oh yeah, it's going to be dangerous, real dangerous, man. Adding Diggs to the room, it's going to be a lot of weapons. There's going to be great opportunities for everybody. It's only adding more depth, more weapons to the offense, more weapons to the team. The sky is the limit for us. I feel like the offense has a lot of weapons. Everybody has got a chance. When the ball is in their hands, an explosive play is coming. I feel like for us, we need to continue to work on the details, continue to be us, continue to have fun, and show the world what we can do. I can't wait for it. And I mean, you heard it from him right there. Adding another guy like Stefon Diggs, it's not like oh no, he's taking snaps away from me. Oh, he's taking receptions away from me. Nico Collins is saying, this is great. This team is, this team building is doing great. We have a lot of weapons. Our offense is looking great going into next year. He's not really focused on himself. He's focused on the team. And along with that, Nico has a great chemistry with C.J. Stroud already. The two work really well together. From everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, the relationship is really good between Nico and C.J. C.J.'s a team leader. He's a great guy. I don't know anybody that's really had a problem with C.J. within the organization. But Nico and him, they go together like peanut butter and jelly right now. And I want to keep that combo going as long as I can if I'm the Houston Texans. Now, I gave you 3 reasons why they should extend Nico Collins. And there's always going to be cons. There's always going to be pros. So coming up in just a moment, I'm going to tell you why it might not be a good idea to extend Nico Collins before the season. But before I get into all that, we all know the Texans' new secondary logo is fly as hell. And you can get it right now with our friends over at Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/H-Town, they have sweaters, they have hoodies, shirts, long sleeves, all with the new H-Town logo. And even more than the H-Town, I kind of like the secondary Texans logo where it's like the H-Town blue with the navy and the red star inside the Texans logo. I think it really looks fresh. I'm going to be getting one of these for this next year, and I think you should too. If you want to go check it out, the link is in the comment section and description of today's video. One more time, it's chatsports.com/H-Town. Go check them out today with our friends over at Fanatics. Now, why not to extend Nico Collins? Number one, and a lot of people have said this before, he's only had 1 season of production, which is true. I mean, when we look at his stats, it's not like he, took the league by storm his rookie season. He kind of, was decent. Now, it's hard to put that all on Nico whenever the Texans were one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in football for 2021 and 2022. But nonetheless, I mean, under 500 yards his first 2 years, and then now almost 1,300 yards this past season. You think, is it a fluke? Is it just a, 1-year thing for Nico Collins, or can this be sustained success for the young wide receiver? That is one kind of detractor to a lot of people on why the Texans should extend Nico Collins. Another one is the injury concerns. This past year wasn't too bad. He played in 15 games, but in prior years, 2021, he missed 3 games. In 2022, he missed 7 games, almost, half the season in 2022. So it's not, horrible. It's not absolute red flag. No way we can extend him. But you look at the injury history and you say, hey, is this guy durable enough to where if we sign him to a long-term extension, he can help us years to come and we can depend on this guy, which I know it's kind of a dumb argument at the same time because you're saying, oh, you can't really control injuries, but you can control how healthy you are and how well you treat your body. And that is something the Texans are going to look into before they extend anybody on this team. Now, I ask you before I tell you the last reason on why you wouldn't extend Nico Collins, let me know down in the comment section. Just plain and simple, should the Texans extend Nico Collins? Give me a yes, give me a no down in the comments section. You can let me know why you think they should or why you think they shouldn't. Let me know down below if you think the Texans should extend Nico Collins. Lastly, and this is maybe, not the biggest reason. I was maybe grasping at straws for this last one, but you want to wait a year. The draft is next year. You can always replenish with draft picks, getting another receiver. And one name that has been floated out around a lot, he was supposed to be in the draft this year, decided to go back to Ohio State, was Emeka Egbuka, CJ's old teammate. Now, this past season in 2023, he didn't have the best year. But we look back to 2022, whenever he had CJ Stroud, he was putting up these numbers: 74 receptions, over 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year for Emeka. And, I mean, if you already have a guy that has great chemistry with CJ and he's coming out next year, this is going to be a very, very popular pick with all Texans content creators in mock drafts of getting CJ's old buddy to pair with him in Houston. Just another reason why the Texans might be a little hesitant to extend Nico Collins. If they're like, hey, we have Tank Dell. We can, draft a guy like Egbuka maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. That wouldn't be too bad, and maybe spend our money elsewhere. But when it comes to me, I would 100% extend Nico Collins before the start of the season. I don't think it's a fluke. I think he is the real deal. And by extending him now, it really gives you more cap savings and cap flexibility moving forward. Because I'm telling you this right now, if Nico Collins balls out for another year and the Texans don't extend him until next offseason, that price tag is going up. That $23 to $25 million that I said that he could be getting in a contract extension, I think you bump that up to $25 to $28 million if he has similar numbers to these this next season, especially if you add Stefon Diggs, you have Tank Dell back, and if he's still the number 1 option, and he's young. He's, great frame, 6'4", 215 pounds. I think it is going to just skyrocket. And we see guys, try to get extended before. The Eagles did a good job with getting Davante Smith that extension done. So I think the Texans should take a page out of Howie Roseman's book and do the same. I think they should go ahead and extend Nico Collins before the year, maybe a 2-3 year extension. You don't have to absolutely hitch your wagon to him for the next 4 to 5 seasons, but if you extend him for 2 to 3 years, that gives you a good base while you still have CJ Stroud under a rookie deal. And then whenever you go to extend CJ, then you can kind of reevaluate where you are with Nico, whether you maybe want to trade him, whether you want to extend him again, or just flat out let him play out the rest of his contract. So before I go, I asked you a trivia question at the beginning of today's show. Who are the third and fourth leaders in receptions behind Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins in franchise history? The answers are: number 3 is Owen Daniels, the tight end, and number 4 is Kevin Walter, the wide receiver. If you got Kevin Walter, little bonus points. I expected more people to get Owen Daniels, but we'll have to see down in the comment section how many of you got it right. Thank you all for joining me on today's program. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs for more Texans news and rumors, NFL news and rumors, the dankest memes on the internet. And as always, go down and hit that sub button for daily Texans news and rumors content. Throughout the whole offseason, we're giving you daily videos on the latest news, the latest rumors around this team. So if you want to be updated, if you want the latest around the Texans, well, there's only one place to do that, and that's here at Texans Today. We are the fastest growing Texans channel on YouTube for a reason. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers, and my bosses told me, they said, hey, you want to do more watch parties next year? Then you got to get more subs. So help me out. Go down and hit that sub button. It's completely 100% free, and you get more Texans content. It's a win-win.